Okay, hello and welcome. So, we're going to be talking. This is going to be a Sunday school from the dark side of Uranus, like the planet. So, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what's funny that came to me just the other day uh, was I was listening to a song of Bob Marley, and it was One Heart, One Soul. And my question today, when I start channeling, I've opened the Akashic Records a few minutes ago, and I was just trying to get ready and get started. And what's going to validate everything, I'm going to do some of my old school tarot towards the end after I do the channeling of the One Heart, One Soul. What is the meaning? Do we lose sovereignty when we go into ideology state? And what is Jesus Christ within the tarot cards? So that's what I'm doing today. We're going to figure out who the fuck Jesus Christ is. Hare Krishna, Tammuz, they're all the same people. Marduk from the Sumerian text, they're all the same people, just different literature, different times of the thing. And people just don't understand what it is, who it is, and they haven't read enough, so they don't understand the whole concept behind what this concept is. Now, the thing is, the Roman Empire created this Jesus Christ, and they created it after I would say a Messiah did come in, because I know there has been Messiahs. Now, the question is, the Messiah of this book is not what they portray. It is a type of from what I've seen come out of preachers, it is a darkness. It is an entity. It is not anything of light. It is something of darkness. And it frightened me to the point to where I came home and cleansed myself and baptized myself and everything else. So that's going to be what I'm going to do with tarot today. Now, first and foremost, the One Heart and One Soul movement. So what's funny, okay, so they're showing that the Bob Marley trend was the same thing as like the Doors. The Doors started this trend. But they're showing that they were all in the same lineage as what the people who are doing the same this segment of people that is creating the New World Order. And they created it and they understood it. So what they did was they created all these songs, and they all claim to be some form of Jew, or I would say some type within the Abrahamic religion, but they claim that they aren't, or they could be something else. Now, what I'm getting is this: is they created this to make this movement start, but what we have to understand, there is truth to the song in itself. Hold on. I feel like I'm frozen in time. I think I can hear better. Yeah, it's better. I don't know what goes on with these things. They have noise cancellation, and sometimes I echo. So what you have to understand is the One Heart, One Soul within the Bob Marley song. There's a lot of truth to it, but as the One Heart, One Soul is like the sovereign human that is not stuck within the ideology state, if that makes sense. So the ideology state has to completely collapse around them and then become sovereign for them to be able to have this one heart, one soul, and truly be connected to the divine ones. Now, what's funny is, if you have now called in something from the ideology state, I just call it that at this point. You have now sold parts of the aspects of your soul out, and with that said, you could have parts of this connection, but the connection is like undergraft under like something else, because you sold your power to something else, and you still could have the connection, but this thing that you've sold yourself to is now overlaying it, if that makes sense, like an entity or a deity or Jesus Christ, because you have to sell your soul to him to become a Christian, be saved again in his blood. In his blood. Oh, goodness. In his blood. Get dripped all up in the blood. So, with that said, now the thing is with how the sovereign mind will start thinking is going to start creating rifts within this ideology mind. But the problem is, when people have already sold certain aspects of themselves, if they don't retract what they have done, they cannot really repair it until they understand what they have done to begin with, if that makes sense. I tell you, I see my third eye right now like crazy. So, with that being said, so unless you can be able to retract what you have done in like prior states of mind within this life or past lives. It could have been a past life that you sold already, and it's just like a contract that was already made from what you already had, if that makes sense. And it just was like it trickled down from a past life and then it lingered into this life. And with that said, what you have to understand is to become sovereign and to become to where we choose to leave here and go to like I don't know if it's really heavenly realms, but the thing is, when we become sovereign, we have the choice to come back. We don't have to be forced to come back. All ideology is you have already sold parts of your aspects of your soul. Those aspects of your soul that you have sold means that you will have to return. And I was trying to explain that to my mother the other day, and I was like, to me, when somebody says that, when I see that on them, and if they're like full force with this ideology mindset, I almost see it like they could be poltergeists at this point, because there's with all the corruption that's around, and who are the meanest people to the ones around us of all people? And that's just a question to say. You have to think who criticizes, who belittles, who comes on and normally like tries to leave hate mail or be crude and cruel. Normally it's the people within the Abrahamic religion. Why? Because they have a fear of God. They live in the fear state. And when you're a sovereign person, you don't have fear. You are connected with the divine mind. You are connected with everything around. So when you are connected, it's like they feel like they're not attracted to you, they are repelled from you. And when that happens, these people will start trying to attack you. One of my family members, it was Chris, when was it? Oh goodness. Easter Sunday, when was it? It was a few years ago. Well, one of my family members had a child, and I told my family that it was going to be sick, have many problems, years and years ago, and they didn't believe me. Well, she has, and she has for years. And so what's funny is I was asking one of the family members if they have figured, what all have they figured out. So I know what I know is like they're getting towards the end of like getting all the testing done, if that makes sense. And they are, which is a good thing. And they're starting to figure these things out. It's very, very rare. So what's funny is one of the family members was like, I don't accept it. This is bullshit. I'm like, you know what? Go fuck yourself, you fat fuck. Don't be telling me what the fuck to do. This is what the fuck I do. You have a problem? Go fly a motherfucking kite. Well, the next family member comes, attacks me out in the driveway. I'm like, God bless, man. So I left. They are now dead to me. So Normally when people are in this ideology state, what I do, what open-minded people will start doing, what this time and movement forward will be doing, these people will start attacking you probably, just like they have me. I've only been physically attacked once, verbally attacked multiple times. But you know, the thing is you have to be ready for it, because the divide's only going to get to where we're going to be looking at things, and then they're going to think that they're waiting for the world to end. And I'm not saying the world ain't going to end. What I don't know, what I can't quite figure out is if everything is like our mind playing tricks on us, making us think that we're here, how do we even know that the world's really ending? Or how do we even know that the world ended, if that makes sense? It's only our mind. I'm not here. For some reason, I can talk to you, you can see me, because your mind makes you think that I'm here. That's quantum field of reality. It's just so fucking bizarre, man. And so with that said, they're waiting for firestone and brimstone. Well, the thing is, these people have created this. The wealthy people have started creating this since like before the Columbus years, and that's why they set up in the United States as a new world order. That's why it's called the New World Order, because they started here back in the 1400s. So it's not a new world order. The New World Order was to come to the New World and take over the New World, which they already have had done. This just been done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That's what people don't understand. So the New World Order has been here. It is here. And what the fuck are you going to do about it? The thing is, all we can do is hope for the best. All we can do is manifest for the best. All we can do is hold space for them to hopefully retract what they plan on doing. Because we have to understand, with multiple timelines, there can be, like I've seen some timelines about a year ago where I saw pipelines bursting and what's that place that's under attack right now by Vladimir Putin? Ukraine. I saw pipelines being burst, and then Vladimir was going to claim that United States was going to do it, and then we was going to go in to like battle with him, and then I saw his army coming in like cruise ships, like not cruise ships but cargo ships, and landing in Charleston, Savannah, and then in Texas. Now what you have to understand, with multiple timelines shift. So with that said, as the now more recent timelines, it's not going to happen. So, but the thing is, there's like 6 timelines almost simultaneously going at all times. Who else has been having some fucked up dreams? I tell you, I have been having some whacked out dreams, and all my dreams are me sleeping inside of my dreams, and then dreaming within my dreams, and then dreaming within those dreams, and then waking up thinking that I was already awake from that dream. It's been I've been having some like whacked out dreams. Nothing bad. It's just like dreams that you think that you was already awake, but you was asleep, and then when you wake up, you don't want to wake up somebody else because you thought they were already awake, but they're over there snoring. Come to find out, it was a dream inside of a dream. I've been having some fucked up shit, but I know with the season that we're in right now, spirits are able to communicate better to us through dream time. So that could be what it is. There could be something like subconscious running through my mind and trying to be like reevaluate things while I'm sleeping to validate certain aspects, but I can't quite figure out like numbers and numerology and stuff like that while I'm in there when I wake up, because I don't really see many numbers. It's just bizarre crap. And it's really funny how we assume that dream time. So somebody was talking about it a while ago, and I said, it makes a lot of sense. But the thing is When we wake up from dream time, how do you know that we're not in dream time currently when you're watching my video and dream time's not real time? Think, everything's in reverse. So what if we're actually living our real life in dream time and then our fake life is here? I'm just saying. I thought about it before. I know a few other people has too, and they didn't say it exactly like I just said it, but you know, the thing is with us, as we start to grow, we're going to start losing limitations, right? So the limitations that we put on ourselves, our family members, our friends, and so on and so forth, the limitations are going to start to like fade away, because you're going to see that things are going to start just like lining up to where new horizons for us is going to start happening. But the thing is, for these new horizons to happen, certain things have to decay. And now they show me the trees. So there's what's funny is, so even the nature around us right now is decaying, so it can have a rebirth just like us, because the rebirth process is going to start happening soon, if it as soon. So the thing is what we have to understand, the decaying of everything isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. When people die, it's not a bad thing. Even people in religion, like I was telling my mother, she's like, well, I just can't get over some of the aspects in church. I'm like, well, this could be it is what it is. And if you can't break through this realm of reality to understand what I'm saying, you'll have to come back. It's that simple. So, and there's somebody else that I've even spoke about lately that I feel like they might as well just tap the fuck out and just come back, because I just don't see the creative spark of the Christos, the anointed of, the God spark. It's not there anymore. And if you don't have a spark to like be creative, to have love for someone, to want to help someone, to be the best person that you can be, might as well tap out. And that's just how I feel. And it's not how I feel, that's how I know. It is what it is. And a lot of these people, if that happens, it's fine. They'll have to come back because their life wasn't great. Shit happens. A lot of us come back many, many times. It's not that big of a deal. We just think of it like a Truman Show, and this is a Truman Show. And I think that we do live in a Truman Show. I think that there is somebody watching me like the Truman Show. I swear, we live in the Truman Show. We live in the Truman Show. But I think a lot of the Truman Show, where they talk about like the man in the moon, I think that those could be like reptilians, and then those were probably part of the original gods and goddesses of this world that helped create us, because we are half reptilian, half Homo sapiens sapien, because our brains are half. So you have to think of it like that. So if there were no aliens, how could we have a reptilian brain? So we have to think of it in many, many different aspects. And I do think that there's many other realities within our planet. I think that there's probably other planets within this planet. I don't know within the planet, but like the surrounding the planet. Like, I think this planet's bigger than what it is, than what they want to allow us to know. And I think that there's other land, other places. And I think that's probably where most of like these weird people that get caught in this pedophilia and stuff like that, I think they probably get sent off to these lands. They don't get killed. They don't get put in prison. I don't believe that any of these famous people are put in prison. I think that they're all sent off to this land outside of what we don't know, and they make it seem like they're over here playing hooky, over here in a prison when they ain't no prison. They just go to their other reality of which we live, and we're stuck in like the center of the plane or planet or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. So, and what's funny is, so as the one heart, one soul movement, the sovereignty comes, there's going to be many different aspects of people that's going to start having more like awakenings within themselves. So it's showing like almost like a gurgling effect, that people are going to have to start like releasing certain things within themselves to allow these new aspects to come inside. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because working through some of your darkest stuff is not easy, and so it could just be you finding the time to try to manifest, co-create, and work for the best for yourself and the ones around you, to then learn and grow as a whole. Now, my question is, who is Jesus Christ of the Bible within the tarot cards today? I know this is Sunday school, boo. Sunday school of tarot. Sunday school under your motherfucking Uranus. So with that said, it's just funny how people, they hold light to many things, and I'm not saying that I wasn't there too, because I was when I was a kid, and it took me many years to like break down certain barriers and certain avenues that I used to live, because the problem is they have you so ingrained in the feared indoctrination, and that's the problem. Like, you always look for the prophecy, but there is no prophecy. This book was written in 50 AD, and that is a fact. So if that book was written, and come to find out, actually, astrologically, when John wrote the Revelation book, he talked about the stars in the heavens and all these astrological signs. Well, now with technology, you can go back in time to see the exact time, and they have now time stamped it to be like in the 14 or 1500s. So and it's never been there before, like the same stars in the same area. So what do you say? So that means the John of Revelation was actually writing the book in 1400, 1500? Possibly. I wouldn't say not. I think we had a huge cataclysm, lost everything. If you look at the world fairs of the United States, all of our big cities look just like Europe. And then after the world fairs, they demolished everything. Why did they demolish everything? To make us think that we are the new world, that like nobody was found. No, this place was like probably the shit back in the day. And now they want you to assume okay. So the Christ, he is he is the hangman. So he is hanging upside down. That's like the whole personification of this whole deck right here. He is the hangman, just hanging out upside down and inside out. Show you folks what it's all about. I'm going to take you back to the old school where it's so cool. I said, ooh, there it is. So now what's funny is this. He wants you to make you assume. So he wants you to make you assume that your cup will overfill, that you're going to come into like abundance. But there's a situation behind it. And there is nothing more than somebody fighting people off. So it's like, okay, so you think that you're going to get something out of it, but you're getting the opposite. It's all inverted. And then the people subconscious of this person is like, they smell the roses. They're hanging out in the garden. They're over here saying, oh, my cup overfloweth with the blood of him, with the blood of him. But he has now beat your ass up. And then they wanted to start something new, but he has taken your heart. And you know, when I channel through my heart and my throat. That's how Akashics works. I channel directly through my heart space to connect to the guides and my spirit guides and my lords and masters. So, and then after he's taken your heart, you're going to realize that everything is not right. You have missed the mark. There's just not anything. And now the people of ideology, the ideology state, what they're doing is they are sitting and they're assuming, am I doing something right or am I doing something wrong? Or is this the death of my soul? It is the death of the soul. That's the death of the soul. That's the death of the soul. He comes in you, takes an abode in you, and then his father joins. That's a poltergeist if I ever heard of one. Serious. And then everybody that's around them is like supporting it because they don't know any better. They want to, and what they don't know won't hurt them almost in a way. So they want to make it seem like it's all love and light, but it's inverted. So now what the people's hopes and fears are now is to like steadily start getting away from it, to start putting a stamp on something new, because everything has been corrupted and inverted and nothing was said right. And it's just funny how these cards came out. I've been wanting to actually channel him, but to be honest, I don't really want to call his spirit. I know I've met the original soul person of him. I don't know if it was Hare Krishna or Tammuz, but I've met him, but it's not the same man of the book. And I'm not sure if the man of the book actually existed. I think that was Caesar's Messiah, and that is a book by Joseph Atwill, and he is an amazing author. And if you don't read, get an audiobook of it. It is a must-read book. This man has validated everything from the Josephus Flavius, that's Mary Magdalene's brother, and then all the other old ancient literature with the Bible and all these other old Sumerian texts, Gnostic texts, all these other things. What he's done, he's all compiled it into a book. And then he showed when Caesar's Messiah was going into the Dead Sea or wherever, he was like the fisherman of men. He wasn't a fisherman of men. He was actually slaughtering the men at the coast. And that is factual. It's in Josephus Flavius books and historical records. So there's a lot of hidden facts within Josephus Flavius, the Book of Jews, or the War of Jews, sorry. And his book is pretty spot on. I've read it 2 times. I gave it to a friend, and I thought I'd get it back, and he must like it too much because I ain't heard nothing since. So I think I'm going to have to buy the book back. But it's a book everybody must read, Josephus Flavius, Caesar's Messiah. And it explains every step of the way how it does. So we gotta make sure we don't allow him to take our heart, because that's what happens in the current state. Like after you caught it in, your heart is stopped. It's like your heart connection with the source creation has stopped. If you've called that blood into you, the blood of that being, of whatever that being is. Because the thing is, they called in this being, and what I think is this. I think it's those reptilian things that I saw that Aleister Crowley and his doodads conjured up out in the middle of the desert that I saw. And they were out there doing like seances, and then these things came out of the earth, and these things were like just wretched creatures with these long fucking fingers. I think that is the energy of the blood of that. And that's just my take on it. And the biggest entity I've ever seen came out of a preacher. And I saw that from astral traveling with Archangel Michael when he showed me the reptilians coming out with the Aleister Crowley and all of his doodads. So I'm thinking that what they did, they interceded and somehow placed this energy of this entity within the blood, if that makes sense. So it's all intertwining to still perceive like something, but it's not, if that makes sense, because they want you to think something, but it's all been taken out of context. And there is not much validation behind the stories, historical facts, behind any of the stories of that character. There's only 3 books with this character, and 2 of those books is Josephus Flavius, and 1 book was the Bible, and I don't believe that book at all. Josephus Flavius was like Jeff Bezos today. He was the richest motherfucker in the world. He owned the biggest shipping empire. He was the royal family. Mary Magdalene was his brother. That was his brother. Mary Magdalene was his sister. They were all royal. So the story just doesn't add up. It don't add up. And people can say, well, you have to look at it from like a spiritual standpoint, and the like this, and instead of looking at it, I'm telling you the facts. Okay, if somebody's writing a book about somebody and saying, and then looking at the people that we have today, do you think that shit has ever changed? I mean, really, think about it. These people are all so fucked up. They fucked up as hell. I don't know what they do in their spare time, but I would not invite them to my house, and I will put that out there blatant. I know I have been like coerced a couple times by a couple of my real wealthy clients when I lived in Florida before, and we were supposed to go over to their house to party, and there was supposed to be like a small mingling, and next thing you know, they like invited me over. Nobody showed up. Next thing you know, they like come out and start like trying to coerce me to do stuff. I'm like, I am out. She comes out butt ass naked. Her husband butt ass naked. Oh Lord. And I was looking at them. I'm like, you're like the age of my grandparents. What in the fuck are y'all doing out here on this balcony butt ass naked? I gotta get the fuck out of here. Bye. And out I went. I'm like, good God Almighty, what have I signed myself up to? And she wanted to remain my client. I'm like, I'm sorry, cutting all ties with that bitch. She crazy. I was crazy, but she was Looney Tune. And she was from Jersey. They had I think that was their 3rd home in Aventura area in North Miami. So, but the thing is, that's probably like minuscule compared to what I'm talking about with the elite, if you get what I mean. Okay, so these people have like tons of money, but they have nothing compared to what the elite have. So if they do this type of stuff, what makes you think that the elite's not like 10, 15 times worse? But they have the money and the ability to do like so much more. And I don't know what they do. And to be honest, I really don't. I do care, but I don't care, because we don't need to really put too much emphasis on it at this point. Because the thing is, as things start into this like this blossoming state of what we are moving into, things will be revealed. And I think what I have gotten before is that they're going to start either dying because they can't hold this space for us anymore, because they are a lower state of being. So what they're going to do, they're going to have to die and leave, or die and leave, or they have to like jump a ship and go somewhere and get the fuck out of here, because they can't hold this space anymore. And that's probably why the Queen died just recently too, because the Queen was like the hierarchy of all these reptilians. She was like the top of the barrel. I would say that lady, she weird. I've seen her eyes shift. Have you seen her eyes shift? I've seen her eyes go from blue to black to green to blue, all in a matter of like 5 minutes. Like, God bless, man, what the hell's going on in her eyes? It's like Lizard, Satan. Oh, the Queen's back. Oh, the Queen's, she's the Queen's arrived. Oh, hey boo, I'm over here. When's that lizard coming back? Don't tell that lizard I'm over here, honey, because I don't need to be eaten today. It's about how I feel. I'm not quite sure. I know that I have, there is many different things that I think that our government is intertwined with, and I think like drugs. I think the drugs is brought here by our government. I can't clarify any of this. It's not a validation. I'm just saying I think that there's probably underlining contracts within like certain atmospheres within our society that they can be able to move things around without getting in trouble, and then bring things here for our public. And I think it's mainly just to be able to corrupt the public. And because a lot of like, to me, I see like meth, or I see meth, heroin, stuff like that. I think it's more like God, like the death, not death, but almost like Satan. It's like the lowest form of being. And the reason that they've now amped up like the what's that new stuff that they, fentanyl, same shit. So what they're doing is they're bringing these things in to getting like masses of people on these lower frames of being. And these lower frames of being, they're going to be able, I think, to be able to manipulate their mind, their heart, and their soul, to be able and manipulate them for the rest of their life. And they could even possibly even like manipulate them after they have like gotten past a certain point, be willing to say, hey, we'll give you a sign-on bonus, and hey, I'll give you like a paycheck if you do this for me. Are they going to say no? Are they going to say no? I wouldn't. But the thing is there's a lot of people that if they are on that state of being, they have nowhere to go, if you get what I mean. So, but up in the physical reality. See, myself, I've lost the concept of like the physical reality, to which I don't need to be rich. I really don't give a shit about money. I mean, I wouldn't mind to be like set, but I don't need to be rich. Set, but the thing is if you already consider yourself set, you're going to be set. And that's just how I've always felt it. Because my partner, he's like, we don't have the money for it. I'm like, bullshit, it'll come. Bullshit. I'm set, thank you. When I was living in Florida, everybody's like, you can't afford that. I'm like, I'm prosperous, and if I want to live on the motherfucking ocean, I will be there. 2 years later, guess where I was? And they're like, I don't know how you do it. Bitch is prosperous. You got to think it. You got to create it. You got to manifest it. You got to be it. You got to create it. That's how it is, because we are the creations. If we are God, that's why we are called human. Hugh is the very first synonym or slang for God. And why is it human? We are God men. So we were gods before we came here to accept these manly characters. And that's why we're supposed to be sovereign and get the fuck back out so we can go back and be a god. We were gods. We were gods. That's why we're called humans. And it's just like people just like have corrupted this reality to make us think that we are like peasants and beneath each other. And if we're manifesting what our government wants, how are we not gods? You get what I mean? How are we not gods? We are creating everything for these reptilians. They are not creators. They don't have the spark of divinity within, right? So with that said, you have to look at it like this. If you have the spark of divinity within, you have the spark of God. So you have the essence to be able to create your own destiny. You have the ability to be able to create what you want. You can be able to change the family life around you. You can be able to change all these different obstacles within your life. First, you have to become sovereign. First, you have to retract certain things that you've caught into your life, and you have to get rid of it. And if you don't get rid of it, then you're just going to continue going down the prophecy hole, which was all rewritten dogma. And it's just dogma. And a lot of people just want to like say it's the book of God. Honey, I don't give a shit what you want to say about it. The book of God would be written by the book of God. And that wasn't written by no book of God. Moses was Moloch, Baal. He came off the damn mountain as a fucking bull. Abraham, he killed his freaking children with blood sacrificial shit. All those people did. What makes you think that they had the spark of divinity within? If they had the spark of divinity within, they do not have to kill their firstborn children. And if you look, a lot of the politicians, a lot of their children have died in like these freak accidents. Why? They probably are the same blood type as what I'm talking about, so they still have to kill their children, but in like this new reality to where they don't get in so much trouble, or they're just like lying about it. So they're still doing the same fucking shit to that God to give them the ability to be able to rule us. And that's what you have to think about. Because there are so many different aspects within like the divine mind and having divinity within. We have the ability to do it, but we don't allow ourselves to get there. And I'm with you. Don't think I ain't. I have my own shit. I have many things I would like to do. And the problem is a lot of times we have outside people in our lives, family members and or partners or loved ones, or if you're married, you're married. But the thing is everybody has like this personification of what reality is, right? So when they're looking at reality today, they're thinking of normality. What's normal to me is not normal to you. So for you to think of normality as a whole, for me, is way fucked up, boo, because I don't believe that shit. And that's where a lot of people go wrong up here, because around here they're very like stuck in the dogmatic ideology state. And if you come at me, I will lay it out, because I don't accept this. I don't accept your circumstances. I don't. I cannot accept it. I will not accept it. I have retracted anything that I have put into it, and that's just how I stand, and that's how I'll be. I do enjoy reading it. I enjoy studying it. I enjoy going back and forth to like these different books to like pinpoint different things. But for me to allow something to overtake my soul, my heart, my being as a soul child of the divine right of God, that's fucked up. And I think it's 45 minutes. I think I've been on here long enough for the day. And then what I'm going to do, I still need to do some Palo Santo in the house and freshen up the house a little bit and keep going my day. I hope this resonates with you guys. Closing out from the dark side of Uranus. Bye-bye.